If you improve just 1% every day for a year, your life would be completely different. But here's the twist. Your brain can't feel 1%. So in this video, I'll show you how to see it, track it, and finally trust your progress. By the end, you'll have a simple system to track tiny daily improvements in less than 2 minutes a day. No apps, no pressure, just small wins that quietly stack up. Stay with me because the last tip locks everything in. Let's start with a question. Have you ever tried to change your life overnight and quit after 3 days? That's not laziness. That's your brain hating sudden shocks. So we'll work with your brain using tiny, almost invisible steps. First idea, make progress so small it feels almost silly. 1 push-up, 1 page, 1 minute of learning. The goal is not to impress anyone. The goal is too easy to skip. Tiny is how we sneak past resistance to start. But tiny efforts only matter if you can see them. So second idea, create a visible trail. Your brain trusts what it can see. If you don't track, your progress disappears in your memory. Let's fix that with a one-line habit log. Take any habit, reading, walking, meditating. Each day, write 1 short line. Date what you did, how it felt from 1 to 3. No paragraphs, just a snapshot. Over time, these tiny lines become a clear picture of your growth. For example, instead of read 30 pages, start with read 2 pages and log 2 pages, energy 2/3. Next day, maybe 3 pages, energy 1/3. You're not judging yourself. You're just collecting data like a friendly scientist. This friendly scientist mindset is key. You're not a failure, you're an experimenter. Some days work, some don't. Tracking tiny improvements helps you adjust instead of quit. Now let's make your progress visually satisfying. Third idea, use chains, not goals. Forget I'll be perfect this month. Instead, you draw a tiny symbol each day you show up, no matter how small the action. The rule, don't break the chain 2 days in a row. Maybe you meditate 1 minute. You still earn your symbol. Miss a day? No drama, just protect the next day. This turns guilt into a simple game. Can I restart the chain quickly? Games are easier to stick to than pure discipline. To make the game more fun, give each habit a color. Blue for health, yellow for learning, green for relationships. Your calendar or notebook becomes a colorful map of tiny wins, not a list of failures. Now, tiny warning, tracking can easily turn into self-criticism. So fourth idea, track effort, not perfection. If you showed up at 20% of your best today, that still counts as a win. Mark it with a lighter symbol, not an empty box. For example, you planned a 20-minute walk but only did 5. That's still light green. You protected the habit even if small. This mindset stops all or nothing thinking, which secretly kills more habits than laziness does. Next, we need quick feedback. Fifth idea, weekly review in 5 minutes. Once a week, open your log and ask 3 simple questions. What worked? What felt heavy? And what tiny tweak can I test next week? You're not rewriting your life story, you're just nudging. Maybe you move your reading habit to mornings. Maybe you shrink a task. Each tweak is an experiment, not a judgment. This keeps your system flexible and alive. Here's a real lifestyle example. Imagine you want to learn a language. Your tiny action is 1 new word per day written in your log. After a week, you've got 7 words. After a year, that's over 300, without stress. To track this, you'd have a small language row in your notebook, 1 colorful dot per word. Watching the line of dots grow becomes addictive. You're teaching your brain. Progress is happening, even when it feels tiny. Now connect your tiny habits. Sixth idea, chain them to something you already do daily. After brushing your teeth, you learn 1 word. After making coffee, you write 1 journal line. Then track that whole mini sequence as 1 win. Why does this help? Because your brain loves patterns. When habits stick to existing actions, you need less willpower. Your tracking then shows not just random dots, but repeating rhythms, and rhythms are easier to keep. Seventh idea, celebrate micro wins instantly. When you mark your symbol or dot, pause for 2 seconds and say, "Nice, I showed up." It feels cheesy, but it wires your brain to associate tracking with a tiny hit of reward. You don't need big rewards, just short signals. That 2-second celebration is like adding a drop of glue to your habit. The more often you do it, the stronger the association becomes. And your tracker becomes a feel-good tool. What about bad days? Eighth idea, Track recoveries, not just streaks. If you miss 3 days and then come back, mark that comeback with a special symbol. You're teaching yourself, I am someone who returns. This is huge because real life is messy. Kids, work, health, things happen. Your power is in how fast you return. When you see many comeback symbols in your log, you stop believing the story that you always give up. Ninth idea, occasionally zoom out. Every month, look at your tracker and ask, what tiny improvement is now normal that used to be impossible? Maybe drinking more water, going to bed earlier, or speaking more kindly to yourself. When you see that, take a moment. You earned that new normal one tiny action at a time. This zoom-out view is what keeps you going when individual days feel small. You're building a new identity, dot by dot. Before we wrap up, here's a simple 3-step system you can start tonight. Choose one tiny habit, create one visible way to track it, and do it once today. Not tomorrow, today. Your first dot is the hardest. You'll feel that. So pick the habit, maybe one sentence of journaling. Pick the tracking, a colored dot in your notebook. Then take the action. Write that sentence. Close your notebook and say out loud, Day 1 is done. Over the next week, watch how the line of dots grows. When your motivation drops, your tracker will remind you, look, you are moving. That's how tiny daily improvements turn into real change. Quietly, then suddenly. If you want more support, create a progress buddy system. Once a week, share a photo of your habit tracker with a friend. Not to brag, just to stay accountable. You're less likely to quit when someone else can see your dots. All right, let's close the loop I opened at the start. Remember that 1% each day? Tracking tiny daily improvements is how you turn that idea from a nice quote into something you can actually see, count, and feel. So here's your challenge. Today, start one tiny habit and track it visibly. Tomorrow, add one more dot. Let your future self look back at a messy but beautiful trail of small wins and think, wow, I really changed.